And we're back. Episode number 52. Oh, consecutive weeks. How good. Ticking the boxes, my friends. Back this week. Another episode. Hopefully this week moves more fluidly. Last week I was a bit clunky. Had a couple of weeks off. You lose that skill, the skill of talking into a mic with no one around, reading notes off your computer. It becomes less fluid. I just saw, so no one's going to have context to this, but I'll explain it to you because it's hilarious. So I have, I got to go way back. All right, guys, story time. We're kicking it off with a story. So Caitlin's mum gave her a doll of Hermione, a Harry Potter doll. It's a soft toy, a plush toy. And she was convinced it was haunted, so she gave it to me to double check, and it's just lived in my room ever since. And then I got a bar of soap that was in the shape of a pair of testicles, and I slipped it underneath the doll, and I forgot it was there until now. I'm looking at them. So I'm looking at Hermione with a sweet pair of nuts, soapy nuts. So that's why I smirked. Very funny. Anyway, on to the actual podcast. Yeah. Feeling good this week, ready to rock, ready to record. Had a good week of training in the bank. My main goal for the past few weeks in terms of training has been swimming multiple times. Check out this fresh t-shirt too, by the way. Lovely. My main goal for training has been to swim multiple times a week, as in swim 3 times a week, because there was a few weeks there where I was swimming once or twice because I just didn't want to swim. It was turning me off so much. So my main goal at the moment has been to swim like 3 times a week to try and get at least 8 to 10 kilometers in. I've ticked that off again this week. So last week was the first or second week I did it, and then this week is the second or third week in a row that I've ticked it off. I'm going to check actually. So, because the beauties of Strava, if you don't have Strava, get it. It's great to track volume. Yeah, third week in a row that I've done it, which is fucking awesome. I'm starting to feel like my swim has come back. Because if you're not aware, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but you tend to lose your swim quicker than any other leg in the triathlon, in terms of, like, you don't lose your run that quick, you don't lose a ride that quick, but you don't swim for a week and you've lost some fitness. So it's the one you've got to do more frequently than the others because you lose it quicker. So I lost a bit of swim fitness, but now I'm getting it back. Fuck yeah. Good week of training. Let's roll the clock back. What did I do? When did I record last? Special beam cut. So I recorded last on Wednesday or Thursday, I think. Can't really remember. Anyway, I had So, you know how last week, I remember what we were talking about last week. I said I was going to try and record my ride with my GoPro. I did. I took my GoPro out, I wore it on a chest mount, and I recorded so much of the beautiful ride. So much of it. And then I got back to realize that I had angled the camera too far down. So all you can see is the bike the whole time. You can't see any of the views. You can't see anything else. You just see the bike. So I'm going to have to adjust that next time I go out. And then hopefully I'll bring some nice footage back with me. So you learn from your mistakes. You learn by doing, and I did it wrong and I learned. So that was Friday. I did that on Friday. Yep, cool. Then Saturday, I had to do my run in the evening or the afternoon, it's new for me. I've never done a long run in the afternoon. I always start my long runs like early in the morning. Most of the time before it's even light. So I've never started a run at I finished at 5:30, back 2 hours, 3. So I started at 3 or just before 3 o'clock. And I finished around 6, which was, it was long, man. I'll tell you that. But it was great. I actually felt fucking awesome. My body was awake. I didn't need to go to the toilet straight away. It was actually really nice. So, I might try and do it on the odd occasion. I do like to get my training out of the way. I don't like to leave it till the last thing on a Saturday. But in saying that, I felt fucking awesome. I ripped through the trails. I wasn't too cooked. Heart rate was pretty good the entire time. It was a great run. So I reckon afternoon long trail runs are pretty good. But I don't think I'll make them a regular thing because I prefer to get my training done and just chill out for the rest of the day. But in doing that later on in the afternoon on Saturday, it meant I got to take a rest day on Sunday, which I'm like all for nowadays. I never used to like rest days, but man, it was nice. I didn't sleep in as much as I wanted to. I slept until about 7 o'clock ish. 6:37, which is good for me. That's a good sleep in because I'm usually up like five, anywhere from 4 to 5 is my like get out of bed time. Depending on what I'm doing. Actually, anywhere from 3:50 to 5 is my get out of bed time, depending on what I have on during the day. So it was nice to get a bit of a sleep in. And then what happened? Yeah, rest day was nice, but I needed it. Like my body needed a day off for sure. Then Monday, I had a rest morning. I actually woke up feeling pretty shit. Not shit, just fucking tired. And like, I actually messaged my coach this, but on Monday, I was like, I feel fine. I feel really good, actually. I just don't want to train. So I didn't train Monday morning. And the irony of that was that it got around to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I was like, you know what, I actually feel like training. So I did my bike set that I was supposed to do. And I only ended up missing a run, which my running's pretty strong at the moment, so I'm not fussed about that. The bike set was probably more important. So I still got in some training, took the rest morning off, and I felt fucking awesome for the rest of the week. So I'm just going to, like me and my psychologist have been working on like acknowledging that need for recovery, and when I actually need it, take it, as opposed to just ignoring it, pushing through, and then burning out. So that brings me to my next point. I've actually been accepting rest, accepting like a sleep in, for example. When on days that I don't need to get up early, I won't. Like yesterday, for example, I had to do 3 sessions for the day. One of them was a double session. So I had to do a swim run and then I had a trainer set later on. And as long as I kind of got started before 8 o'clock, 8:30, I was pretty good for the rest of the day. Like I had nothing else planned. So I didn't set any alarms and I woke up, I had like an 8 hour and 45 minutes sleep, which is ridiculous for me. I woke up, I was like, oh man, I feel fucking sick. Did my swim, then did my run, crushed it. And then later on in the day, I had my bike set, which I also did really well. Like it was challenging. I'll get to the ins and outs of that later on. But yeah, it was hard, but you know what? I got it done. Tick the box. So I've come to the realization, or I've come to the acceptance of taking a sleep in when I can get one, because like, why not? You know, I used to come from the attitude of getting up early every day, like a badge of honor. Like, I'm going to get up early. I get up early. What time do you get up? Fuck, sleeping in, soft. No, sleeping in's good. If you can sleep in, fucking do it, because it just helps you recover, helps you feel better, helps you get on top of things. Like, I know they say you should be consistent with your bedtimes and your wake up times. Sometimes, yes, like you should be if you can, but that's not practical most of the time, especially not for me. Like, there's not going to be any consistency there. Depending on what I'm doing during the week. So for me, I'm just going to take the sleep-ins when I can get them. And you know what? I took it and I feel fucking great. Like this week has been a great week of training. I'm pretty sure on my Whoop, my recovery scores have actually been in the green heaps, which, yeah, I'm in the green again today. I'm actually getting consistent greens, which is good. So yeah, I'm fucking pumped that I'm actually learning from this experience, learning how to rest, which is great. Like I always say, I'm fantastic at putting in the work. I'm just like a workhorse. You give me the stuff to do and I'll fucking do it. My feelings don't matter. But now I'm starting to realize, well, maybe they do matter a little bit, because they might help me get better actually if I listen to my body more. And the proof is in this week. Like I've hit some pretty good targets. I've done all my things I needed to do and I feel good. So that brings me to my next kind of point, like the hustle, you know, work 24/7, don't sleep, don't rest, fuck sleep. Sleep is for the weak, sleep when you're dead. That whole attitude, bullshit. Don't listen to it. You need to give back to yourself, because that ends 2 ways. You either burn out and stop, or you get sick and you're forced to stop. That doesn't end any other way. You cannot sustain that. You cannot sustain those stupid workloads, or you fucking do drugs. And that helps you until you reach an end point, get sick, die. You can't sustain that attitude. It's not realistic. So many people preach it, but it doesn't work like that. There are going to be times where you're going to have to fucking hustle your ass off and work and push yourself. Fair enough. But you cannot sustain that pace forever. It's like training for something. You can train your ass off super hard, but you're going to peak at a point, and then if you keep training at that level, it's going to be detrimental to your fitness because you won't be able to recover from it. You need to train to a peak, rest, and then start again. That's the purpose of cycling, training blocks, and stuff like that. In terms of my strength training, I've just finished another training block. So I've tested, and now I'm going to strip the weights back and start again. It's impossible for me to keep going at this same trajectory because I'm not going to make it. I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to get injured, and I'm not going to be able to get any stronger. In other words, I'll plateau. You need to change, you need to reset, rest, recover, and then go again. That's how you further yourself. That's how you better yourself. So this hustle, sleep when I'm dead attitude doesn't get you anywhere. You can hold it for a little bit. You can hold that pace for a little bit, but long term, don't buy into that shit. All right, moving on to my training for the week and how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. So in terms of my strength training, in terms of all training, feeling super strong, super fit. I swam with Noah this morning and I was talking to him in the sauna. He's got a race next week, actually, the Sunny Coast Half Ironman. So tune in, check him out. I will be following along and see how he goes. But I was talking to him this morning about how my heart rate has changed so much in my running. I was doing my cool down for my run yesterday, and rewind a year, my heart rate would struggle to sit below 150 in a cool down after a hard run sesh, but now it sits easily in the zone 1 or even zone 2. Zone 2 or zone 1. So 140, 135-ish, around that range, while running at 5-minute pace, which is ridiculous. Whereas in the past, I'd be running 530s and it would be sitting higher, around the 145s, 150. So it's just good to see all the volume that I've done is actually making me fitter. I'm actually getting stronger. I'm actually getting better at running, which is fucking great. So I think all the trail runs are helping too. But yeah, feeling really fit, feeling really strong. I have no complaints at all. In terms of my strength training, I have had a bit of a hip niggle for the past week in terms of when I'm back squatting. But for the first time ever, hang on, I'm going to take a pause and a drink for this one. For the first time ever, I actually warmed up before squatting today because I tested my 1 rep max and they felt good. So I think I'm going to start warming up before squatting, and that might fix my problems and it might actually help me get better glutes. So I've never warmed up before. I'm always just I'll throw weights on the bar and that'll be my warm up. No, I don't think that's the way to go. I think I'm going to do a structured warm up, or at least a couple of warm up exercises before jumping into my weights. So this week, last week I tested my deadlift, bench press, and overhead press, and this week I tested my squat because last week's squats actually felt pretty good. So I decided to hit one more week of them, and then test this week. So I wasn't gonna test this week, but I started, and my hip was hurting, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna test so I can peel these weights back and start again. So anyway, last week I tested my 5 rep max overhead press, and I got 47.5. I actually failed the 4th rep of 47.5, but I got to the same point. So I attempted it twice and got to the same point twice. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay 47.5. I got, 2 sets of 4 at that. I was like, I'll pay it and then I'll program off that weight. So hopefully next time I can hit 47.5 or even hit 50. Then my deadlift 1 rep max was 175, which is strong. Not my strongest. Back in the day, before I started tri training, I could do 200. But 175 felt good, moved well, moved safe. Actually, sorry, I lied. 170 moved well, moved safe. I should have drawn 175, but I didn't. So I hit 170, felt fucking awesome. It was grind. It wasn't really a grind. It was hard. Super safe though. Didn't feel anything, I didn't lose any part of my my brace or anything. Then I tried 180. Bar didn't even come off the floor. Cool. And I was like, great, I'll pay 175 because I reckon I could have got that. And then bench press 1RM, 92.5, felt good. It was a bit of a grind, but we got there. I reckon I'm So I'll explain my new program. Apologies if it bores people. I'll try and blast through it, but I'll explain my new program after I go through my scores. So yeah, 1 rep max bench, 92.5. And then my squat today, I got 127.5. I worked up planning on hitting 125, and I hit that, but my depth wasn't quite that good because I think I've never squatted over 120 before. So I was a bit nervous. And then I was like, I'll load it up to 127.5 and I'll try and get a little bit deeper. And I actually did. Grounded out. It was so funny. In the video, you see me descend and my face is like normal. And then as soon as I start that drive up, my face just goes red. And then it was a bit of a grind, got to the top, and I started blowing air out my eye socket because I was bracing so hard, which is weird. But we got there. We got it, 127.5. Then I hit deadlifts afterwards and my glutes were smoked. You wouldn't think there's much glutes in your deadlift. You'd think it'd be all hamstrings and I guess glutes, but like I felt only glutes because they were smoked after the squat. So very happy with that. My new training structure is going to be similar. I'm going to have a light day, a moderate day, and a heavy day for every movement. My overhead press is going to be 5x5 on the heavy day, 4x5 on the moderate day, and a 4x8 on the light day. Then deadlift is going to be a 4x2 on the heavy day, a 4x5 on the moderate, and a 4x8 on the light. And then bench is going to be the same structure as the deadlift, and then the back squats I haven't decided yet because I tested today. So I might do a 5x3, 5 sets of 3 reps, just because I want to try and get better at the 1 rep max range or even the 3 rep range. Because a 5x5 is just fucking hectic, dude. It's just like once you get up in weights too, it's heavy as, and like putting it. Oh, I don't want to do this. 127. See, I usually reduce. That sucks. So a bit of insight into programming for strength stuff. The way I've been doing it so far is I'll take my test weight, whether it's a 5 rep max, 3 rep max, 1 rep max, I'll take that and I will drop it back to 80%. So for example, 127 back squat gives me 80% of that is 102 kilos. So that's going to be my starting point. I might even drop it back 75%, but that's my starting point. I don't want to be starting a 5x5 at 102. That sucks. So I'll do it. I'll drop it back there and I'll increase by 2% each week until I top out and want to test again. So that's my strength stuff. Apologies if that bored you guys. I will move on to more training topics. Actually, no, I'll change it around, eh? Let's go. I'll finish with. I'm just rearranging notes. I'll finish with that. I forgot to mention last week too. I actually did my FTP test, and for those of you who don't know, an FTP test is just 20 minutes. So your functional threshold power is the power you can hold on a bike for an hour, but there is a test that goes for 20 minutes where they take a percentage of that, and that is your FTP. Way better than testing it for an hour, but also way worse. So it's basically 20 minutes max watts on your bike. And I put it off for 3 weeks before I actually tested it. I just didn't want to do it. I was like, no, not doing it. Then finally I was like, fuck, I have to do this. So I came home one day and just did it. Just sucked it up. I was like, you know what? If it's worse than what it was last time, then it's worse. And that just means that my programming is going to be easier and I'm not going to have to I'm not going to have to work as hard. I actually got 6 watts more. I ended up with 326 as opposed to 320, which was my last one. So very happy with that, but also it was fucking horrible. The first, first 5 minutes suck. And then at the 10-minute mark, Zwift is like, if you're feeling great, give me 10 more watts. And you don't feel great. You feel fucking horrible. You feel like you're going to die, but you try and give 10 more watts because, why not? And then you get to the 5-minute mark and it's like, come on, keep going. You're almost there. And you're like, I don't know if I've got this. And then you kind of like get a second wind or a third wind. Then you push for a little bit more. And then you can push for that 3 minutes. So from 5 minutes, you give yourself, you push for 3 minutes. Then you get to 2 minutes to go and you're like, I'm fucked now. I feel like I want to stop. And then 30 seconds, you're contemplating that. You're like, maybe I should just stop and take the hit for the watts. And then you get to that last 90 seconds and you're like, fuck it, black out. And then you put in an extra 100 watts to finish off. And then, get this, so I finished it, I don't know, I was holding like 370 or something. Then I finish and it's like, yep, cool, recovery at 230 watts. And I was like, fuck no, sorry dude, I'm recovering at 50 watts. Like, I'm not going back to 230 watts and still having to put power through my legs. Like, anything under 150 is like just like spinning your legs. I was like, I'm spinning. I ain't doing your cool down. Yeah, sizzled me good, but blew my legs out for a week. It's, yeah, if you don't have to do it, don't do it because it's fucking rough. While we're on the topic of training, I'll touch on this one too. So yesterday's trainer set, right? I did it really well. It felt great, but I started, so you know you haven't eaten enough food for the day when you jump on your trainer and you hit the first 3-minute warm-up block into the second 3-minute warm-up block, and then halfway through that second 3-minute kind of warm-up, you're only doing 190 watts, but you feel shaky, you feel like you're going to bonk. That's when you know you haven't eaten enough for the day. So I was like, oh fuck, this is going to be a long set. Like it was only an hour and 10 minutes or whatever, but I was bonking before I even started the actual set. So I was like, I gotta stop now. I jumped off, opened up some lollies, ate some lollies, and then went and drank some orange juice to give me a bit of sugar, then jumped back on. And then by the time I finished my warm-up, which goes for about 21 minutes, I was feeling pretty good. So thankfully I had sugar at my disposal to help me get through that one. But tick that off. And then after that, I was done for the day. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was just sleepy as, wasn't really paying attention, wasn't really talking to people properly, wasn't making a whole lot of sense. Classic me form. So then, yeah, I was done for the day. Just went to sleep pretty much, which was cool. So great week of training. If you're me. Oh, what else? Fuck. So, man, I've got to touch on another I feel like this whole podcast is just about training. I did have a point to this, but when we're still not there. One last training thing, I promise. The Metcon on Wednesday was fucked. I was smoked after that, and I had to come home and do a fucking ride into a run, and I was just done. We did 1 minute on, 1 minute off of a bunch of things. And if you've done one-to-one work rest, you know that it sucks. And it does. It did. It was horrible. Oh my gosh. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. It just railed me so much. So that was fun. And into my ride and run, like my run was just had nothing. Had no go. No juice. I used it all in the Metcon, which usually I like to get my training done, my tri stuff done before the Metcon, because it's like, hey, I've got my shit out of the way, the stuff that, is programmed and I'm progressively overloading it. Then I can do the Metcon, which is like extra fun. But I didn't do it that way. So I gave extra energy to the Metcon, and then I got home and I was like, oh, I got to do this. So I slept really well that night. Because I was smoked. Anyway, I'm going to itch my ear, and then we're going to get into something that's not training for the first time in fucking 23 minutes. Shit. I'm going to take a quick drink, lean back so you guys don't hear me slurping. So, first off, launched my podcast, thankfully. No, didn't launch my podcast. Launched my website. Finally, ttl-entmt.com. Check it out. Links in my bio. Links are everywhere, friends. But I was writing up some quotes for my website because I was doing up some pages, and I was like, hey, I want to send a positive message here. And I was writing these quotes off the top of my head because I wanted to try and dull down my message behind why I do these things. And one of the quotes I wrote, which is on the podcast page of my website, was the message shouldn't be do things you hate so you can afford to do the things you love. It should be do the things you love with such passion and dedication that you can make a living off them. And I was just thinking, I thought that one because I was thinking about this stuff. I love this stuff. I love this. I love fucking training. I love doing all these kind of things. I don't like I worked at a desk job for fucking so long and I hated it. It was just like it sucked the life out of me because I would be drained and I wouldn't have time I wouldn't want to do things like this. I wouldn't have time to go and train. Wouldn't have time to go spend with my mates because I'd be like, I'd work huge hours and then I'd have to train and I'd be fucking exhausted. It was just a shit show. So like, I think the message should definitely be do things you love with such passion and dedication that you can actually make a living off them. I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts that have been speaking about this kind of approach. And nowadays, now is far easier to do this kind of stuff than ever before because online stuff is so prominent. This podcast, I started it because I was like, hey, it'd be great if one day this becomes popular and it gives me some form of an income because I enjoy doing it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it the way I want to do it, the way I enjoy doing it. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, you know what? I enjoy it. So it doesn't matter. It brings me joy. So I think this is the message we should be giving your kids. You shouldn't be like, hey, take it from me, someone who is not a parent and has never raised kids ever before. The message should be, hey, do the things you enjoy, or probably better because kids don't really know what they enjoy. Just make them do everything. Give them everything. Let them taste test every single thing that they can possibly taste test, because instead of funneling them into something that they may not want to do, like for me, I was funneled into accounting and I just fucking I enjoy numbers, yeah, but not to that extent. Instead of funneling them, just give them a fucking ample opportunity to do whatever they want. Give them taste tests of everything because you never know what they're going to like and their opinions might change. I got derailed then, but the message, even for fucking adults, the message should just be, mate, I've learnt this through seeing my psychologist too. If you're going to your job every single day and your boss is a cunt, and treats you like shit and you don't like it, and going there every day is taking a bit of your soul, then you need to change what you're doing. You will be fine if you change what you're doing. You will figure that out. You will figure out what to do once you stop, because you will feel better about yourself. But you need to change it because you can't, it's going on. I think these headphones are falling apart. But you shouldn't have to fucking succumb to feeling like shit every time you walk into your workplace. You shouldn't have to deal with that every day. You shouldn't have to feel like this sucks. Just get through it, get to the weekend. That shouldn't be how you approach your work. You should enjoy it. You should love going. You should love, if your job actually feeds your brain and you feel good about what you're doing and you enjoy it, then fucking amazing. That is the ideal setup. Like they say, your job shouldn't feel like a job because you enjoy it. It's just, I feel like the message is blurred here. People are there are so many people, and it sucks seeing it, that are just working because they think that that's what they have to do. You have to go to work every day, work, the same hours every single day. You have to do it. You don't have a choice. That's the only way to be able to do the things you love, is by going to work and, paying the man and getting paid and doing your shit. It's not really the only way. There are other ways. You've just got to trust yourself, back yourself, do the work, and kind of follow that stuff that ignites that fire within you. Now, it's easy for me to say, but I just think it's true. That's what I'm trying to do more at the moment. I'm trying to hey, this intrigues me, this interests me. I'm gonna I'm young, so I can risk it, and go towards certain things. But it's a valuable message nonetheless. So I don't know. I feel like we should be teaching that or trying to spread that, as opposed to, hey, fucking work really hard and then you can afford to do the things you love, because you can work hard, enjoy it, and do the things you love all in one. You don't have to do something you hate to do the things you love. I think that's the message anyway. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other quote I put in there was, this ties into that past one perfectly. Nothing will be perfect the first time you do it, but that first time sets the foundation for growth. Now, that's how I approached this whole thing, even my website and stuff like that. It's not going to be perfect the first time I do it. So I put it out there, I published it, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of fucking loopholes, a lot of things that aren't tidied up, and a lot of things that aren't neat. So I went through And I like would look and I just fix something every day, fix a little bit here and there, change photos, do this and that, and just make it better. Not perfect the first time, but it's getting better. It's looking better. It's looking cleaner. It's looking neater. Content's getting better. Like, that's the same thing with the podcast. It was not horrible, but it wasn't great the first time, first few episodes. Nothing's perfect the first time you do it. So, and it's not going to be perfect ever, especially if you don't do it the first time, because you'll never get to do it. So like, get that first one out of the way, and then you can like, okay, this is where I messed up. This is where I need to improve on. That first one gives you an understanding of where you stand. Then you can go from there. It's like testing. For me, testing my back squat helps me fucking understand, all right, this is where I'm at. This is where I've got to go. This is how I'm going to get there. Gives you a starting point. So you got to take that first step. That ties into the last one. If you fucking hate your job and going there every day is killing you bit by bit, what are you passionate about? All right, how can you like jump into that passion? How can you explore that passion? You can start exploring it while you're still working. And then you might find out that, there's a way to make money here. There's a way to actually build a career out of this. Jump into that. Try it out. Take the first steps. Like me with the website. I use myself as a lot of examples here. I actually made my first few sales yesterday with the hyperbolic sleep. Fantastic. I'm fucking stoked. I hit a few glitches before getting them, but we got there. It didn't feel real. Still doesn't feel real. I've got to package them up and send them today. But like, I wouldn't have got to that point without taking that first step. I had to spend a bunch of money to get these things made and bring them over. Like, without that first step, I wouldn't get to this first sale. Without the first sale, you're not going to get to the second one. So like, all these things tie back to the quote. Nothing is going to be perfect the first time you do it. But unless you take that first step, you're not going to know where to go, and you're not going to know how to improve. So it's going to set that foundation for where you can grow from. So if you're waiting for a sign to take your first step, take it now. Then you're going to know where you're at, and you're going to know where to go from there. Trust me. And you just take it step by step, and you'll build on that shit. Like I said, got my first fucking sale. I'm fucking pumped. I can't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I saw it come through and I was like, there's no way. That's bullshit. It was real. It was real life. It happened. Actually from TikTok. Like, I've been putting out videos on TikTok with like the science behind it and just talking shit. And they're working. So I'm going to keep doing that. That's my strategy. Strategy with that. I've got my t-shirts. They look pretty fresh. Look at that. ENTMT dot stands for entertainment, as in towing the line entertainment. Pink on black. Fuck yeah. Actually no, let me clean that up, because I've realized that Instagram doesn't like you when you post reels that have swear words in them, which is why sometimes I don't do well when I post reels, because I swear so many times. I swear fucking heaps, So look at this. Fresh t-shirts, ENTMT dot TTL Entertainment. Get them online, link in the bio. For you real podcast listeners, I'm sorry you had to listen to that. That was me just preparing a clip so that I could clip it up and post it to try and get people to buy t-shirts. Unfortunately, I only have men's sizing, and they're actually quite large. I think they're oversized. So the whole purpose with this first run, like I've just been giving them out. I haven't really been selling any because I want to figure out sizing. I want to figure out how they wash. I want to learn a bunch of things. So I think it cost me like $500 to get 30 of them. So it's like it's a learning, a $500 lesson basically. So yeah, very happy with them. They look clean as. I was going to wear them to train in, but I think they're just wearing out t-shirts. They look sick. Very happy with that. Speaking of clips, I decided to change my podcast clip structure so they look way cleaner. Got rid of the little box on a background and just made the video the whole screen. So it's way cleaner to look at and move through. And I'm going to try and be up to date. Like, I have given up on posting past clips, and I'm just going from now and trying to get them out as quick as I can. Because like, it's, oh man, for me to go back and do extra stuff is just, it's annoying. It's like I go back and listen to old episodes and clip them up. Real hard, real difficult. See, I feel like I'm looking at my stories and my potential jokes and stuff. And I've like said half of them already. I don't think I've said that one. Have I said the one of dogs pulling on the lead to go see another dog? Have I said that before? The concept of like, can you imagine if, so you know how dogs pull on the lead to go see another dog and then they'll sniff the dog's ass? Can you imagine if humans did that? They were like, I want to go over here, I want to go over here, I want to go over here. And they sniffed each other's bums. It'd be so weird. Or even if they sniffed each other's ears, it would still be weird. Like if you're like, I want to go see this person, and you're like, yeah, and then just moved on, like fucking weird as. And speaking of dogs, I thought of this the other day. So I was collecting the mail and this cat wanted to be pat, and I started patting it, and it was like rubbing up against me, like pressing its butt in the air. And I was like, man, cats are just horny as all the time. That's my impression of cats. Cats are just horny 24/7. They're just horny as fuck. I'm going to name the episode Horny Cats. I've just let the episode titles get out of hand. So that's why I'm trying to be real descriptive in the description, because you read the title and you're like, what is this fucking guy doing? And then you read the description and you're like, oh, yeah, right. He's not lost the plot. He has lost it a little bit, but not completely. But yeah, cats are horny as, bro. All right. I'm going to wrap it up soon. Yeah, one last thing. I'm going to put my ambassador cap on for a second, guys, to tell a story. All right, so we're back on. We're back in. Now, I've put this cap on because I want to post this as a clip because I want to represent the Greensboro Tri Club. You guys are hearing this. I'm not going to put this in the clip, obviously, but what I'm about to say is factual. It's not me just talking up their club because I'm an ambassador for them. It's actually facts. So, where am I going to start? Right. So I've been seeing, or for years, I should say, I was seeing the same paces in my runs. No, not happy with that. See, now I'm under pressure, but I'm going to leave this in so you guys can get to see me struggle. For years I was seeing the same pace in my runs. They weren't getting any quicker. My runs that were programmed weren't getting any quicker. There was always the same pace. Since starting at GTC and not even being an ambassador for them, since going to a few of their run sessions on a Monday night at the track, my run pace has just gone through the fucking roof. It's just blown up. It's insane now. I look at programs that have sessions that have been programmed, and I'll look at the paces of it and I'm like, I don't know, that's pretty quick. I don't reckon I can hold that. Like, I'll doubt myself. And then I'll start the session and I'll be doing the pace and I'll be running quicker than what's programmed. I'm like, oh, I can do that. It's wild. In the past like 2 or 3 months since going to a few of their sessions, my run has just improved drastically. So I cannot like applaud, recommend them highly enough. I'm stoked. That was it. That was my, hopefully I'll clip it up and it'll look good. I'm going to take my hat off now. See, the beauty of you guys who are listening to this on audio is you don't have to see all this fluffing around behind the scenes. You just get to listen to the crisp quality audio that comes through the microphone. Cool. Now, what am I doing this weekend? Let's wrap this up with this. What are you guys doing this weekend? If you have any feedback, message me. If you want to check the website out, go check it out. You don't have to buy anything. I'm just happy that I've done a website finally, because it was, something that I wanted to do for a while. I will hopefully some point put a blog kind of thing on there. I don't know if I want to do a blog, actually. I don't know. But yeah, I might actually do a subscription thing and give you guys exclusive content through there. I don't know. But the website's live. Go check it out. Give me some feedback if you got any feedback. Love feedback. Whether I listen or not is up to me, but I will always appreciate feedback. What are you guys doing this weekend? Think about that for a second, because I actually know, what are you doing this week? What do you got going on? I know the weekend for Saturday, which is tomorrow, and Sunday, Tomorrow is actually a rest day, which is nice. I might do something light and easy. And then what's Sunday is a 3.5 hour ride. So I'm really hoping the weather's good because I don't want to ride indoors. But we will wait and see what that's like. Oh, let's just check now. I don't have to wait. I can check right now for you guys. Let's just kill time while this is loading. Subway advertising on the weather app. Looks like it's going to be pretty darn good. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. Very happy. Sunday. Not raining, but not hot, which is like ideal. Maybe a bit like today, overcast. I can cop that. I might take my GoPro and actually set it up properly this time. And on that note, let's leave with the fresh sound of a crack of a soda water. A bit of ASMR. Oh yeah. Don't think that worked very well, but that's it for me, guys. I hope you have a lovely week. I apologize if I drained your soul with all my training talk, but it's been a lot going on in the training realm. Basically just training and horny cats. That's really all we spoke about today. A couple of insightful bits in there, but, mostly training and just horny cats. So I hope you guys have a lovely fucking week. See, swearing was not necessary there, but I just throw it in anyway. I hope you guys have a lovely week. I will chat to you next Sunday, hopefully. Until then, adios. I will keep repping my fresh t-shirt. I probably won't ever wash it because I don't want it to... I'm so nervous to wash them because I'm worried that they're going to shrink or turn to shit. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, guys, I'll chat to you in a week's time. Stay strong, stay healthy, live it up. If you have any feedback, message me. Ciao, ciao.